I'm Brandy Smith. I live in Illinois. My home dance scene is Chicago, Illinois. She, her pronouns, and I'm an elementary teacher. Uh,
And did you want to say anything about race or anything? Or do
oh, sure, yeah. My father is Jamaican and my mom is white, so I'm mixed.
you remember when you first heard blues music and or dance the equivalent of blues dancing?
Yeah, so I don't know the exact um, date of when I first started blues dancing. Um, but it was definitely before the pandemic, and I've been dancing it for over 10 years. I want to say maybe like 14 years at this point, possibly. Close to that. I actually started in swing dancing with my uncle and on my mom's side, and then he died, and I started teaching ballroom dancing. And then when that didn't work out, I went back to swing dancing, and um, some people invited me to go blues dancing, and I didn't ask any questions. I didn't know what it was. I was just like, sure, dancing? Of course I want to go dancing, obviously. And so I hopped in a car with them to Chicago, and it was like in this uh it was like in this like weird place, like uh it wasn't anywhere like lit, like it wasn't there wasn't any shops or anything. um it had like, I don't know, it seemed abandoned, and we went through this like area, like was just like parking lots and everything, and rang this buzzer to get in, and then went up all these stairs, and all of a sudden I started hearing the music, and but the whole time I'm like, what did I get myself into? I just said yes to this. I don't know what's going on. And then as I heard the music going up, and it was like wall to wall people, it was crazy, and I've been dancing it ever since.
I
So,
love that. Before this experience, you had you listened to blues music at all?
a little bit. My uncle introduced me to like a lot of music from all over, but not a ton of blues music. I think I had been familiar with like BB King. I had heard before, and I've heard Nina Simone. But I feel like that's probably about it, to be honest.
Yeah. So have you experienced any tokenization as part of being, involved in the blues scene? Going for it. Like,
Um, yeah, I would say like a lot of people always say that they want me to teach. Um, that's a big thing. And I feel like it's because of like my skin and my size. Um, and yeah, I feel there's I get it in different ways. Like I feel like um I stand out a lot, and people know who I am. And so like it, yes. Yes, but I mean there's two different ways that we could go with this. Like um I feel like black men, they kind of, the tokenization's different than with black women. I feel like with black men, they get asked to dance and are like, people will seek them out. Whereas for me, and then a lot of my female black mentors, they'll spend a lot of time sitting down, not having anybody dance with them. So like right now, all of my mentors that I've had um, don't come anymore, and that's been really hard for me to navigate and deal with recently. And and then I hear a lot that I hear a lot that like I'm intimidating, but then I'll also hear like I'll ask different people like, "Oh, why won't you dance with so and so?" And I hear a lot that they're intimidating, they're intimidating, they're intimidating. And I feel like that's a lot of what's being said about black women and mm, but I hear that with and I don't really hear that when I hear of like black men. I don't hear the same words used. I don't know. And I feel like recently I've been watching like observing the crowd and everything, and I I've seen like people will watch black women dance and observe and it's but won't actually dance with with us. Like it we're there to be ogled and seen versus to dance with. And I've brought it up to different people and uh, uh, even people of color, and it very rarely do people actually try to help. Like, well, they'll ask, "What can we do to help?" I'm like, "Ask us to dance," and there are people in the community that do ask women of color to dance and make an effort to do that. So I like it's possible and people are capable of it. It's just that I don't know why. That was a really long answer for that question.
No, that's like that is the kind of answers I'm looking for. And
Okay.
it's like, okay, cool, yeah. So do not worry at all. Like
Okay.
that's like, yes, thank you. So
Okay.
yeah, so yeah, that really kind of ties into this question of cultural legacy.
Mm.
Um, so like I have it like, have you seen in the blues scene standards like are people upholding or undermining Black American cultural standards? Um,
Um, right now, I've noticed a lot of people doing a lot of like fusiony dancing. Like a lot of things aren't like grounded. Um, yeah, I've been quite disappointed to be honest. Which is really sad. Um, with things. I mean, as I mean, as disappointed like I mean, I should be disappointed. I mean, normally I would be, but like I feel like more disappointed than I normally am, I guess, or I'm feeling defeated. Um, but yeah, I think things are reverting back to the way that they were before pandemic, like where people aren't really trying to understand the dance, understand the culture. Um, yeah, it's not very grounded. People are like dancing up and um yeah, it just doesn't I look around the room and I don't see blues. And it's hard to explain like it just doesn't and then so right now I don't live in Chicago. I drive an hour and a half to 2 hours um to go to the dance. And I think it makes me really upset because like the last few times I've been there, I don't really have anybody to dance with, and I used to do more of asking people to dance, and I've just been kind of getting frustrated and not really wanting to do it as much, and I've been kind of like doing more observations, and I've been sitting there, and I'm like, an hour goes in, and I'm like, oh, I think I've had all the dances that I'm going to have. And I'm getting like maybe two dances an hour, maybe three, to just, which is like not worth my time. And then, but it's frustrating to see, you know, I go out there and then I see people all dancing fusion like not being grounded and not really, I feel like they're not actually, they don't actually love the dance. Do you know what I mean? Like it feels like they don't love it.
I
right?
definitely know what you mean.
And,
Yeah.
and some of the other people, like I know that they dance the other things, and I've danced the other things. I've danced fusion, I've danced tango and waltz and foxtrot. I've done so many different styles, and to see that, like, and then I can't, and then I'm not able to dance it because like I'm not getting dances, and then on top of that, I'm a DJ. So then I'm DJing for these people. And actually, the last dance that I went to, it was my birthday, and I played a really good set. And because it was really hot, I was trying to get people to stay, so I was playing a lot of like songs that people would know, just to try to keep them there because of how hot it was. And so like I got actually like a huge like round of applause afterwards, and I was kind of just really irritated because I was just like, here I am playing music for you all, music that I don't get to dance to. I'm sitting here the whole time. I'm not getting asked to dance, and you're not even dancing it. And so, I don't know, man. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, that's really frustrating. I for one of my specific classes I observed our local scene and I was like, it's so hard. Like I know it when I see it and I know it when it's not happening, but it's
Yeah.
hard to put into words. But yeah, like I hear you because it's like this struggle. I think it's probably, I thought coming back from pandemic we'd have a clean like fresher start. Like okay,
Yeah.
everyone just needs to get back in, in general, all our skills have kind of been by the wayside. So let's all together start from basics. I thought there was some there, but it starts to branch, it starts to, um, and I think it's part of this, like actually caring about where it comes from and everything. So that's what part of what I'm hoping with this, like
Mhm.
maybe it'll help people, understand, like respect it, like,
Yeah.
and yeah, and then also I've noticed you're doing a lot of photography. Is that both a like I like photography and I like the skill, but is there also like I might as well because
Um,
um
so yeah, I've been doing photography. Well, I actually stopped doing photography the last couple times. It was because I was on the board, and uh Tom DeGroh was doing the photography for Bluetopia, and then he was no longer doing it because he the uh gave the dance um to the committee, and so I was part of the committee, and I decided to take on that role. But I actually just recently stepped down from it. Um, so yeah, I part of it is because like I like art. Um, and but yeah, I when you're not dancing, people want to talk to you a lot, and I have a lot of anxiety, a lot of social anxiety, and talking, and especially small talk is extremely difficult for me. Um, and one of the things that I like about dance is that it's you're able to communicate and be with people without speaking. And for me, in my life, I've had a lot, like my brain talks a lot, and I have a lot of anxiety and a lot of um like where my brain just doesn't stop, and I have a lot of trouble like relaxing. And um blues and dance has been a very big like source for me to relax and for me to be present and really gain confidence and be able to actually talk to people. And um like when I first started dancing, like I was afraid to speak to most people. I used to, like, now I'm like a little bit more outgoing and bubbly and friendly and stuff, but before that I would like run away from people. And so like I think that also makes me even more mad when I can't dance. Because like I really need it. It makes it really difficult to be in the space. And I can solo dance, but then again, then you have that where I can feel different like eyes on me, and sometimes it like depending on how I'm feeling that day, um, or even as the night goes on, the less and less dances I have, the more in my head I get. And so it 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 just kind of builds on itself, and then it becomes like it's hard to like relax. And so yeah, does that make sense?
Yeah, no, it makes I'm like I'm thinking of my own times where I'm like I love dance so much. I feel like I'm most myself when I'm dancing, but there's all these like social
Hmm.
aspects around it because it is
Yeah.
social dancing where it's like, are we, am I vibing? Are we not? Is there something off? Have I, had a negative
Yeah.
experience with somebody? I get you. I feel you. Like I'm like thinking of my own. Yeah.
Yeah.
Um. So okay. So for the photography, it was a role that needed to be filled. So you're like, sure, why
Right.
not? But now you're like, you know what? Never mind.
Yeah, I kind of stopped it because they started paying different people for photography, and I am new at it, so like I'm not trained or anything or haven't done anything, but like I don't know, to not get compensation or anything for doing it just doesn't feel good either. So
Yeah, that's
so
another thing. I so I don't have it on any of my questions, but blues. So I started, I think, roughly around the same time you did.
mhm.
It sounds like, and there's always been this like, oh, blues very affordable, blues very, like, and that's because people aren't being compensated. like now that I've grown into the organizing role, I'm like, oh, so much is this a, labor of love, but you will burn out. Like
Yeah.
there is compensation is compensation for a reason because it helps balance the energy and time you're
Mhm.
putting into it with okay, I'm getting like this and something's helping me feel like it's worth it, refills my whatever, like pays for the gas, pays for my time, all this stuff. So I hear you. Like that was another thing I was hoping would change from pandemic was like, hey, we're coming back, let's actually invest.
Yeah.
So yeah. So one more thing from this is that I've taught, I've heard others say, like Ray and everyone, like that matriarchy is a huge component of Black American culture. Do you feel like how does matriarchy factor into blue spaces, or does not? Like,
So it's a similar thing that I was talking about before. All of my female mentors are gone, and I feel like I've put a huge burden, a bigger burden on myself because I was the only um black woman of black woman there still.
yeah,
So
I am still here. Okay.
um so like it and I've been definitely missing that, and then every once in a while like I check in or they'll check in, but yeah, they've got other dances and different things. Yeah, and I went to a dance like usually I only um get that when I go travel. Um when I travel to uh other bigger dances. I recently went to like the slow dance soiree in New York, and I got some nice black community love while I was there. So that was really lovely. Even in we had a class, and it was uh, several of us, and we just kind of gravitated in the class, and the teacher, it was Dan Repsch, and they were having us like just do the basics, and we kept doing like a circle and dancing and everything. And Dan was eventually like, "Oh, we want that for everybody in the class." So, but yeah, it was really cool because we were just really grooving and kind of taken up that space for just us, and
Yeah.
he kind of let us for a few rounds, and then I turned to them and I was like, he's gonna make us rotate and join join the rest of the group now. And as soon as I said that, he did. But it was nice that he kind of let us kind of be together for quite a bit before he did that, which was nice.
Yeah. Sounds like a good balance of like, it's like, okay, I know you're not hijacking the class. This
Hmm.
is, and then, okay, now let's see, like, and other people hopefully like saw like, hey, look how much fun they're having. Like,
Yeah.
um, yeah, I saw the photos too. I saw some photos. I was like, wow, Brandy and Jen, and I was just like so excited seeing everyone who was there. So that was a good group. Like,
Yeah. It was nice.
um,
It was fun.
so that maybe kind of going off of that is, do you feel like you have to do a lot of code switching when you're at dances, or um, like how does code switching factor into your involvement in blues or anything?
So I have this weird thing because like my how I grew up is a little bit different. I don't know that I ever really got that because my since my dad is Jamaican, I never really got I, like I have things that are like crossover, but I never got like the typical like uh Black American culture that like my brother got. I from kindergarten to the age of 13, I went to this Baptist school where I was the only um, black kid. It was very rough, and they didn't even celebrate Martin Luther King Day. And I got bullied and different things. So, like, I've always kind of not fit in wherever I went. And what even, I think what sucks even more with what's going on with me for blues right now is blues was kind of my first, like, where I felt actually really accepted by the black community, and like starting to actually um, have roots and and feel like I belong. And yeah, so to have it like I don't know. Yeah.
Yeah, it makes sense. Like, yeah, like you're like you finally felt you found a place. Like, yeah, here we go. Like we're connecting and you finding um camaraderie, and then like now it's kind of
Yeah, like a lot of my mentors and people that I connected with are have gone. Even when I went to uh New York and was talking to different people, I was asking about it because I've been really struggling. Um, and it sounded like they like Jen Delk, uh, she was talking about how she has like she was kind of getting her cup filled in other areas because like since blues is a very white space, she had other communities and places to go to, and I unfortunately don't have that at the moment. So that's kind of my next project is to go looking for that so that um, I can have a part of me fulfilled that and that blues isn't fulfilling right now because of yeah and I the yeah because it's gotten worse. I it's which is so sad. I don't know how to help it or fix it, and I don't know that, and I feel like it's not necessarily my job to do that. Um, yeah.
yeah. It shouldn't be the burden shouldn't be on you. Like this shouldn't. Yeah, I think that's what I'm hoping. Like by interviewing multiple people, I'm like maybe something will. I don't know. Well, we'll see what the research shows. But like some where people can be more something and not putting all the burden on, you know, the small ratio of black dancers who actually are engaged in the scene, but all like not trying to kick them out, but just finding a good balance and finding a good like way of like instead of appropriating, appreciating and everything. So yeah. Yeah, so I'm gonna lead that into like, does nostalgia, or lack thereof have any impact on why you blues dance?
Um, Nostalgia. Yeah, I mean, yeah, I think about like the good times and I think about things that I've had before, but I really but I think it's more than that. Since I've done so many different styles, um I think blues has been the most freeing for me. Um so I wouldn't say that it's nostalgia. Right now I'm dancing and staying in the community kind of out of spite versus nostalgia. Um because thinking about how things used to be is more sad than I would say happy. Um, yeah, I mostly dance blues because the other styles they've been like, especially like ballroom, I've had to like follow everything exactly how somebody's wanted me to. Like I can't just express myself, you know what I mean? Like I've been dancing like line of dance and somebody will stop me and yell at me because I and stop the rest of the people on the floor because I didn't follow a move just right. And that doesn't necessarily mean that it was my fault. It just the signal it could have been the lead's fault. They could have signaled it wrong or I just didn't catch the signal. It could have been a bajillion things. And yet and on several occasions. So when I found blues and I found that there was an ask, or I could choose to be like, oh no, I don't want to do that, or hey, oh, I'm going to take my time on this turn, or I'll get there whenever, you know what I mean? Um, versus having to do it right then when somebody says, that's more why I blues dance versus like good times, you know?
Yeah, I'm trying to think of a good question because I love what you're saying right there because that is, I think, some like a huge component of blues that other things don't have. So I'm trying to like
Yeah, I was trying to answer your question because there are good memories.
yeah.
It's just yeah, I think
No, you answered my question. What I want to do
oh,
is
okay.
like it's not on the prompts, and I'm like, how do I get like talk more about this? Like, what is it about blues that lets like, or do you feel like blues is one of the only dances that lets the follow have a voice?
Well, okay, so uh, I think so, yes. Because I also used to do fusion. Um, and what I liked about fusion is that I could bring all the different styles that I knew um into it. But what I and I don't know if this is across all fusion scenes. This is just what I've experienced where I'm at in Illinois, in different, not just in Chicago, but in different areas around here, Wisconsin, different areas. But uh, that like there's not really a fusing of the different styles, if that makes sense. Like I don't really always get to bring what I know, and I'm still not really getting asked to dance as well. I'll still try to ask people, but somebody even told me that at Fusion they don't like to ask blues dancers to dance. And the thing is that I was a fusion dancer way before I was a blues dancer. And the thing and people labeled me this way. I didn't get a choice. Now I will say that I am a blues dancer and I'd rather be a blues dancer any day than any of the other ones, and that's fine that I'm put in this box that people want me to be put in. But what happened is uh, in, for Blue Shout, I won one year, the newcomer, and I came back to the fusion community, and they're like, a fusion dancer won, and there was like everybody was excited and happy for me, right? And then I came back the next year, and I won again, and then all of a sudden, I was no longer a part of that, and I was all of a sudden no longer a fusion dancer and just a blues dancer, and um, yeah, it was really unfortunate, and I don't know why. I didn't change anything really that I was doing other than when I learn different dance styles, I actually want to know where they come from. I want to respect them. When I was trying to learn tango, I wanted to know about where tango came from and all the stuff. I want to know about bachata, and I want to know about I want to know why I'm making this movement and why I'm putting my foot a specific way. That's how my brain works. Um, yeah. And so I just think it's unfortunate. Yeah.
Yeah. The fact, yeah, like they cheer you on, and the next, it's like, oh, now your fate is sealed, or it's like now your box is sealed. It's like, oh,
Yeah. And then all of a sudden I was also told, because I DJ, I was also told that I'm always DJing blues when I wasn't DJing blues at Fusion either. Um, and then and then they corrected and said, "Oh, well, you're not DJing blues, but it's like it's a lot of syncopation." And I was like, "But there's not really that in blues either." So I don't know. It's just very frustrating, and I don't have I don't have the spoons.
for
I don't have the
sure.
spoons.
Yeah, no, it's like, yeah, we can't say for sure, but like it was not in a it was in an exclusionary way instead of an inclusion or like a communal
Um,
way.
I don't know. I don't know if it's just I have no idea. I don't know what the motives are or like there's lots of miscommunication things that happen. I don't know. And like I said, I have social anxiety. It's really hard sometimes for me to communicate. I don't
Mhm.
know. I just know that I just things have been really hard for me recently, and it's been hard for me to go to dances, especially like to drive an hour and a half out to 2 hours and then to just sit there and be not asked to dance or be told no when I ask people to dance. And I
Yeah,
and
that's
then
yeah.
and then to be told that like I'm intimidating or I just dance blues when I've spent years doing other things. So,
Yeah. Yeah. So here's another thing that I feel like blues often gets uh misconstrued or misunderstood is this like sensuality versus sexual like the sexualization
oh
of
my
blues.
goodness.
Go on a rant, Brandy, go on a rant.
Okay. So this has been a recent topic since I've been hanging out with my black ladies. And we've been talking about this because recently I've also been, and I got this in the past too, but people have been saying recently, they're like, "Oh, it's the way that you dance," and I'm like, "What does that mean?" And like saying like that I'm like a sexy dancer and all these things, and like sometimes I am playing up sensuality, and other times I'm just dancing. And then one of my friends, Paris, um, why can't I think of Paris's last name? Anyway, she's a Philly dancer, lovely. Um, she actually hadn't been dancing for 7 years, ran into her at a dance, um, was so excited to see her because she had stopped dancing because, again, people not asking her to dance, similar things. But anyway, uh, she was like, "Oh, because you have hips, you move, you." like I can't help that. I'm just moving. I've spent a lot of time. I really like Latin. And when I was teaching ballroom dancing, I always spent time on Cuban motion. So I love Cuban motion. And so like that comes up a lot in my blues, even though it's not really supposed to. That's just it happens. And so I'm yeah, I think that's also coming into play with the whole like the gaze where the people are just watching people dance and then not approaching them, and then we're intimidating, we're sexualized, we're ogled and not, you're put on a pedestal but not part of the community, not joining everybody.
Yeah, it's like you're not a fellow dancer. You are object. You're an object. You're like they are relegating you to a like non-human. Like they're not humanizing you.
Yes, I've been feeling very much like it's what I can provide for people, not. And people are like, "Oh, Brandy, you're bubbly and smiling and so much fun to be around." And I've had, like, in the past, I've had people be like, "Oh, you were one of the first people that came and asked me to dance." Or like I've had stories where people are like, "Oh, I almost left dance and then you came up and said hi to me and then I decided to come and now I dance all the time and yada yada yada." And that used to happen to me all the time. People would say that. And then I kind of stopped being that person because as soon as I stopped initiating, as soon as I stopped saying hi, as soon as I stopped asking the people to dance, no one can. They're not coming around to say hi to me. They're not coming around to ask me. And I don't know if it's that they think that they're like, oh, wow. Maybe they're thinking, oh, how come Brandy's not saying hi to me anymore? How come Brandy's not asking me to dance anymore? I don't know. But I just don't want. I want more for myself. And I want to also be asked. I want to also, you know,
Yeah, it's that's the thing. So blues is so conversational and it's so communal, and so it's like there needs like for it to really not be a drain. There should be some give and take. Like that's part of the dance, and just in the broader culture and community of it. So I hear
and I,
you.
yeah, and I think the more that it goes without speaking to someone, the more it seems like people are mad at each other, and then it gets even more. And then as the dance goes on, the more I can't put a smile on my face, and then you have those stereotypes like the angry black woman or the. And so like I guess, okay, let's go back to like I would say my code switching, or I wouldn't even call it that. Like I tend to always put a smile on my face and try to look less intimidating. And so then like recently I've been hearing that associated with my name, and I'm just like, how am I still intimidating when I've been like, "Hi, how are you?" And like, I mean, but now I've stopped doing that. So like I'm like, okay, well, I can see how I'm intimidating now because I've stopped doing that. But like I I've been getting to the point where it's like it literally doesn't matter what I do. It doesn't matter if I am a cheerleader, smiling, sad, uh, 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 dancing at the top of my ability, dancing to different people's levels. It like I can't dance too not too well because then I'm intimidating. If I don't dance well enough, my size, then people think I can't dance. Like there's no winning. There's no winning. And so like I've just I give up. I give up.
Yeah. Yeah, that's like intersectional like identity is definitely an angle of just like, yeah, you shouldn't have to put on a persona and that's or put, be a certain way to be accepted. That's super frustrating. Yeah. Like I'm so sorry. Like Um,
mean, and I'm not the only, and the thing is, I'm not the only one that goes through this. And so like I listened as and watched as my mentors went through this, and like and you get this also like ageism, uh body and so like like I'm getting older. Like I just feel like it just keeps, and then if I'm a teacher, then what happened when I used to be a teacher would be the dances that I would get. People would ask me to dance, and like 2 seconds, and they'd be like, "Oh, teach me something." Again, I wouldn't get asked to dance, and so like it's just I get so few that it's like just. And then I used to lead, and I kind of stopped doing that, and I started up a little bit again. I've been contemplating what to do, and I could solo, I could do different things. And I thought about leading again, but then I realized why I stopped leading, and part of it was because I would lead, and then I'd watch as uh, male leads would then ask every single follow that I led to dance after I led them. And then leads who, friends of mine, who would normally dance with me that were people that I could normally go up to and be like, they would always give me a dance and I could follow and enjoy their time. They would then be wanting me to lead them. And then what would happen is if I wouldn't lead them, they would dip themselves at the end of dances. And so like and it's just super frustrating. And every once in a while I get somebody that will dip themselves, but for the most part that's stopped. And I've noticed the correlation that if I don't lead, the X, Y, and Z's don't happen.
yeah, that's very interesting. Like, yeah, like so much going on there. Like, um, well, yeah, and that's the thing. Like, and I notice a lot of people who tend, women, femme, who are, prefer follow, they get pressured into leading, or like or maybe self pressure. It's like, oh, if I want to get a dance, then I got to learn to lead. And it's like once again, it's like you should be able to just bring yourself and bring what you are truly like comfortable in. So, my goodness.
And I mean it's good to know because it helps you learn the dance better and it helps you get an idea of the floor and how things work. But yeah, it's a lot. So
Yeah, yeah, it gets unspoken things get put on top of it, and they're not spoken, so then it becomes such a more of a headache. So yeah, I was gonna kind of shift to more like um beyond blues, music, dances.
okay,
Uh,
go ahead.
if you have any thought, I mean, you've talked some of it, so but if there's any
Okay.
other thoughts you had, like Descendants from Blue. Oh, have you seen Sinners?
I did see Sinners. Yes.
What did you think of the scene where he's calling the ancestors?
Oh, it was cool. It's been so long since I've seen it,
Okay.
that I can't even. Um, yeah, I remember it being really neat because it had all the different um, uh, styles and it had like from different years all um, coming together. That was super neat. Um, and it was like uh, it was very. It felt very like crowded, like very um kind of like how, okay, well, if we talk nostalgia, old blues, the when I used to go to like Bluetopia, that's how Bluetopia used to be. Like it was like all people all crammed in together, tight, sweaty, hot. Um, that scene felt very much like that in a way, but not the same, obviously, because it was um, like ancestors and like all these different styles coming together. Yeah.
But yeah, like there's this like I think the presence of like a bunch of people just enjoying themselves and
Mhm.
like being present with each other.
Yeah.
And yeah, I hear that. And it felt like I was like, this is what we're talking about. We're saying like you need to know your roots, like
Yeah. Yeah.
here, like
Yeah. It felt very um yeah, yes, exactly. Like you know it when you see it.
yeah.
You know it when you know it, you know you know it when you see it. When what's the correct thing
So,
is up.
yeah. Yeah, so and any other thoughts about so the question is any thoughts, opinions in comparison to music and dances that are direct or indirect descendants within the context of like the blues kind of first, and then these genres when they first popped up, or how these genres are being like in this current year of 2025, how are
Oh,
they?
so like
Yeah,
indie hop, bachata, balboa.
yeah,
Okay,
in comparison to
so
blues or anything. Yeah,
yeah, so um, well, I just did a little bit of balboa, and I learned that some people were saying that you can move your hips, and some people were saying that you can't move your hips, and that there was a debate going on with that.
that's
Which,
like foundational to the dance. Like as part, if you're doing Balboa, yes,
yes,
you can, or no, you cannot. So
right. There
yeah,
there was a debate going on with that, which I found interesting. Um, which to me, I feel like I couldn't. That's part of why I would struggle. Um, and like as far as like blues, like you have access to your whole body, whereas I feel like in all these other styles, with the exception of fusion, you don't have access to your whole body. Like in Balboa, you got to be connected up at the top. Same thing. Lindy Hop, there's parts where you can be, but you still need to be for the most part connected.
and you're still being very
You're still
lead.
you're very lead centric. All of them are very lead centric, except for, with the exception of fusion and blues, I would say. Like I think West Coast has is has become more um uh I'm trying to come up with the right word. Performative? That
No, I
uh
had this conversation at the cookout was that West Coast Swing has made a choice that when you're dancing to the lyrics, and so it is very performative because you are trying to like embody the lyrics, but only the lyrics. And I'm like, oh, that explains a lot. Like,
and I am actually a very lyric focused dancer, which is also why I really like blues because in blues there's a lot of storytelling. Um so that's another thing that really why I connect to blues so heavily. Um but I don't think you should only just be connecting to the lyrics per se because there's other stuff going on. Um, can you
real
ask
quick.
me the question again?
Oh,
I
I'm
don't
gonna
know
ask you
that
actually a
okay.
specific question about Balboa.
Uh,
So you're saying Balboa is having a thing about the hips, but were you hearing anything about the upper body connection? Because it's like it doesn't seem like people pick on Balboa as much as they do for blues for having the close embrace.
they don't, do they? They don't, do they? And there is. It is a closest embrace, isn't it?
Your trust a jet.
Why is that? Why is that? Why is that?
I'm gonna go with the
Why
call it.
why is that? I want to know.
I would say like Balboa is a little bit more removed from its black roots. Like it is not that there were no black dancers doing it, but those who are like, oh, this is a solution to our packed floors. It was California, like a little bit more of a
Is
white
that why?
demographic.
Is this why I'm having such a problem with it? I've been actively running away from Balboa. And I've
Maybe
been
just
trying.
instinctually.
Well, I've been trying, and every single time it hurts. It hurts here, and I want to be okay because so many of the humans that I love Balboa, and they talk about how dreamy it is, and I can see how it's dreamy, and I love watching them dance Balboa. However, it hurts my soul.
Yeah, I'm like, give me
and I
ballroom and blues any day.
and I think, but part of it is because I don't have access to the top half of my body. Actually, during that, when we switched from having during the slow dance, sorry, when we switched from only having uh, Lindy Hop and Balboa classes, we went into blues, and I was with my ladies, and I started going freedom, and I started moving the top half of my body, and they're just laughing at me, and I'm like, I just couldn't wait to move the top half of my body. So, but I don't know. I don't actually know that much about Balboa because I'm
No,
not. It's
yeah,
I haven't done it that much. I don't know that much about it. I'm willing to learn more about it. It's just hurt my soul. However,
yeah,
there's been other dances that hurt my soul, and then somebody said it in a specific way, and I'm like, ah, there it is. But see, that's how my brain works, is I need to know why a specific thing is, and then I need to know, I, and it has to make sense to me.
yeah. No, like because that's I do know a little bit about Balboa because it originated in Southern California. The Lindy Hop ballrooms were packed, and so they're like, well, how do we keep dancing and not, everyone wants to be here, so that's what the very more restricted motion.
Mm,
And it's not to say that, yeah, like as I kind of said earlier, like there were people, there's ballroom in blues, but this is different, right? So it's like it's
mm,
not completely alien, but it's like a very specific choice by a certain demographic and a regional, and then it kind of, then when
stretched out.
stretched out, yeah. Um, yeah, but because I've heard this before too, with like Argentine tango has the upper body connection because you really need that because you're
Hmm.
gonna fall. So it's like,
Yeah,
so why does blues get the crap?
I don't know.
Um, yeah. And so maybe another, I'll keep asking that question. Why
I
does
don't
blues
know,
get
maybe because of the like I well, because of who's doing it. And then, like the movie Dirty Dancing. Um and then not saying that it was blues, but like I feel like they were taking from a lot of the things, and I don't know.
this,
It's
this closeness?
it's close, and I think a lot of people's gazes, like I think people just, unfortunately, I think people just see something, and then they're like, I'm gonna label it this. This is this looks sexual to me, so I'm just gonna label it that.
Yeah. I was
And
talking with somebody, yeah. One of my other interviewees was saying like, he's like, I was like, why do you think that blues gets labeled sexy? He's like, I think people don't like because a lot of white people are dancing it. Western culture is so divorced from its own body that then when you get to be close to someone, like we've only been closeness equals, intimacy, sexual intimacy. And it's like intimacy does not have to be sexual and sexual, sensual. Like there's a range here, and but because of this cultural conditioning, jumping to it must be that, it must be sexual, and it's like it actually doesn't have to be. Like that's more of its choice than a um what's like a feature, not a feature, but a choice kind of thing. Like,
yeah,
um, yeah. So yeah, that's kind of what I was thinking like with these when comparing it to other dances is like people won't say, "Oh, Argentine tango. Oh, I love Argentine tango. I'm so invested, but I can't do the close embrace. But I'm still here and I'm coming every week." And you're like, "No, they won't. They don't allow it." But blues, I don't want to do the fundamental hold of this
Yeah,
dance.
I don't understand. I don't get it.
Yeah. And then the other thing I had on here was just like some solo dances. Like I know you mentioned solo dancing. I think I think people would benefit from being solo. Like, I feel like that's the thing is that people don't solo as much as they could in blues. Like they don't take the time.
Yeah, I've started soloing more. But what's unfortunate is then when I solo, that's when I get asked to dance. And I'm already on the floor, I'm in the middle of the floor. I've then chosen to solo, and then somebody comes out onto the floor and then asks me to dance. And then that's when I feel like people are being rude because then and then you're holding your hand out or you're asking me, and then if I say no, then you're not likely to ask me to dance another time. And then I have to make a choice.
Yeah. It's not fair.
And it's really frustrating. And it's different if I'm outside, if I'm on the side of the floor, just moving and like swaying back and forth. That's different. But if I'm already on the floor and I'm dancing, then that means I've made the choice to solo.
Right, right. I think that's so what I'm like now that because I've interviewed a few now in talk, I'm like I think the things that came up were like politeness, like a difference in what people think is polite, and also just like I think a difference in like um understanding of like choices that like a simplification of oh this means that as opposed to like what like social awareness I think is kind of what
Yeah,
is coming up.
I think social awareness, social cues. Like I was having a dance the other day, and like I said, I get so few, and then somebody came by and was like, Brandy, and I'm like thinking, I'm in the middle of a dance with somebody else. Why are you shouting my name, like, and then I have to turn it on, you know what I mean? Like, hi, like, and I don't. And then if I'm not giving the response that you want, then the rest of the time everybody's like, Brandy's being rude. I don't know what they're thinking. But especially
Right,
since I've stopped putting on my faces, like people are like, "What's wrong? What's wrong? Are you okay?" And I'm like, "No, not really." But like, and so like I'm even getting even less dances because I'm not even. I can't do it anymore. I
no,
can't do it. And
okay.
until I probably will be able to once I find a separate community outside that fills this void that I need, um, in uh, that helps me connect to the Black community. But until then, I'm really angry with where I'm at right now because at at a point, blues was that for me, and I feel like it's been taken away, and it makes me really mad.
Yeah.
And it was already slim to begin with, like it wasn't perfect, but like I had at least a little bit. And so like right now it feels like nothing. And so
Right. You have to grieve it, and then that's
yeah,
unfortunate that you have to grieve it, but
yeah,
you also have to honor your own sustain.
yeah.
Yeah. The only other thing I haven't specifically asked you about was like, we talked about sizeism. Like, has athleticism been something that's been like projected at you, or anything
You
to do
mean
with athleticism?
like to me, so athleticism, like how much I can do?
Well, because I know there's a stereotype of like, especially black men. Because I'm interviewing both black men and black women.
Right.
Like there's a stereotype of black men being athletic. I don't know if anything comes up with like blackness and athleticism for like as a woman.
I'm not sure. All I just know
Okay.
is like with my size, I
Yeah.
get like people I feel like people don't think that I'm going to be athletic. but I also know that like with Black women, they also like we have this thing where we have to we put on this front that we're strong and we don't need help, that we that to not be weak, to not to not like, and so like I know that's not quite the same thing, but like it's in a similar vein to
Yeah,
where
this
there's this uh
there's a
uh,
stereotype being projected at you that you're supposed to fit this very specific, like, don't show any weakness, don't show, don't like, yeah, yeah. Um, I think like these things aren't so much questions, but more just like appreciation versus appropriation is in the blues. And like you mentioned, like do your homework, like like look into the um. But I don't know if there's anything else you have thoughts about.
um just trying to think. Yeah, I've talked about how like being put into boxes, labeled, uh, people's lens on looking in, and how people view the blues and sexualizing it, and how like people automatically think it's gonna be a slow, sexy dance. Like people in swing, they still think it's gonna be sensualized. Like I've tried to talk to different DJs, and then they'll go and DJ for a swing event. They'll DJ blues, but then they'll only play like really raunchy blues songs, or like, and so then like I'll play some, but like I've got to be careful on how many I play, and and it's just hard. And then like, yeah,
So it sounds like a lot of just current, like a lot of policing control, like a lot of outside forces trying to like, yeah, scrunch you down.
honestly, that's what it feels like. Like I'm trying to play the game, but I don't have, like, because I don't have my own actual space to be myself in. I'm finding it really hard. Like I talked to some other people in the community, and they're like, they're it's not going to change because we're not willing to burn it down because people are still benefiting from it. You're
Yeah,
getting paid, like if we're being tokenized and do the different things, we're still benefiting from it at the end
yeah,
of the day. And so like, and then if you're getting your if you've got another community go to away from this one, then you're fine. But for like people like me who grew up with all this like racism and in this tiny little bubble, and then uh and on my own, um it makes it very, very hard. And so I'm trying to figure out where to go, and then like I don't always fit in, and I don't always know the right things to say, but like I try. um I don't know,
yeah,
it's hard out here for everyone. For everyone.
yeah. I was really hoping pandemic would be kind of a like it burned down and rebuilt, but I guess old habits die hard. I don't know.
Yeah, I kind of knew it. It's unfortunate. I kind of figured it wouldn't be. You always have a little bit of hope, but um,
Yeah,
yeah, and I think people are just tired. Like Damon's tired. He just kind of just tells people, "Nope, this ain't it." Like he doesn't even expand on it anymore, and people are mad at him. They're like, "What do you mean? That's not the blues. Like you're not gonna say anything more?" He's already said all the things that he's gonna say. Like, what more do you like? How many times do you want him to say it? Like, I just
didn't listen the first time.
you didn't listen the first 12, 15. I don't know how many times. Like, I don't
Mm.
blame anybody who, you know what I mean? I don't even want to say it the first time. let
Fair
alone
enough.
100th.
Yeah.
So yeah.
Oh.
Your friend, are you dancing? There's so many things involved that,
Yeah.
and sometimes I
So,
wonder, like, did I not get a dance again because people thought I was flirting with them or thinking that they were going to get something, and then I was just dancing. I have no idea because I don't read a lot of those things. Maybe, maybe not, or maybe they felt uncomfortable because they thought I was flirt. I don't know. And I was
like,
dancing and existing.
I think like hearing you saying that like makes me think of like I think I'll speak to myself, right? Like, 'cause I've been dancing it since 2012, and I'd say like maybe at first I was like, oh, here's a place that I can, you know, release some or express things I've never been able to express because of
Mhm.
my conservative, strict upbringing. But as I grew, like then I like, oh, we need to learn the history. We need to really dive into the and I'm like, I think I've come to a place where it's like, this is not a dumping ground. Blues is not a dumping ground. Blues is
Mhm.
like a come correct. Know yourself so that you know what you can bring kind
Yeah.
of thing. And I will, not everyone's there, but hope, that's what I wish for everybody. I think is like know yourself so that then you can tr- be let everyone be authentic in their own selves as we come together.
Talking to Brother Yusuf.
He's on my list to interview.
I was talking to Brother Yusuf, and we shared a cab ride, and he was talking about. I've actually been asking a lot of blues musicians when I get to talk to them about like what they want to see from blues dancers. How can we respect them in the space? And he was talking about how um there's a lot of us that like we have the fancy dances, and we we bring them out and pay for them to come to these things, but none of us are really coming out and supporting them in bars. We're not joining the community. We're not doing these different things. We're not seeing what it's like out there. We're not bringing the dancing to the spaces. And so like it's like, okay, yeah, we can dance and be all fancy here, but then when it comes down to it and supporting the local businesses, supporting the spaces, doing the different stuff, we're not doing that work. Some people are. Like I know Chicago, we have Brit is running a thing for Rosas, and she has or she has people come out to do dancing for blues there. But yeah, I thought that was important, and then so yeah, it was just nice to be at that bar and then like see and dance, and I feel like we should be doing that more and really respecting the musicians that we're enjoying, as well as our DJs, as well as people there that we should be asking them to dance, thanking them. Um, Everybody that is in the space is part of our community, and I think everybody's been just coming in, dancing, having their sexy dance time or whatever dance time that they want, and then going home and not caring who's in the space, not caring what's going on. We've lost people. We lost Tendo. Nobody was checking on him. I've lost two dance people who've taken their lives recently in our dance community. Like it's hard out here, and I think, and then you've got the people that are just disappearing, people of color that are leaving the spaces in droves. Like, I mean, I am always like, if I just left, would anybody even message me if I didn't show up? Like it's
Yeah.
you
Yeah.
it's just for the benefit of like you're happy when we're here, in the space. And yeah, so I think we should listen to people like Brother Yusuf and really start going out to bars and supporting local blues musicians. I think it's important. Actually, recently I went to this Chicago blues bar, and it was amazing. And it was like, uh, I went with, uh, I actually just got interviewed by another person who was doing their thesis, and they were doing it on blues music. And so they found this bar in Chicago. Hold on, let me look up what this bar is called.
This you posted stories, right? Like
I
you
did
posted it
post
to. I was
I
like, that looks
It
amazing.
was amazing. Okay, it was called Bricks Nightclub. And apparently every Sunday they have their blues music, and it was blues and soul, which I love soul more than all the genres combined. Um anyway, and it's free. It's free. Free. And they have it every Sunday, and it's like in West Chicago. And I'd never been, and I actually never really been to a real Chicago blues bar because I live so far away and I don't get to go. But I wasn't sure what it was gonna be like, but it was so nice. Everybody was like hugging and smiling and dancing, and the owner hugged me, and everybody was just like talking, like it was like everything you could possibly want. And they were all like, I was having a blast. And so then at the end they're like, "Oh, make sure she comes back." And they're pointing at me, and I was like, they're like, "I know you're having a good time." I'm like, "I am." Like, my hands like this, and they're like, "You're coming back next week." And I was like, "Oh no, not next week, probably, and then at least once a month." And I had my friend Lamar with me as well, and he's like, "Does everybody in this bar sing?" Because we kept getting introduced to people, and then they would then get up and sing. And so it was just like, and it started off slowly, like, because we didn't notice at first, like it was just kind of like, oh, a couple people here and there were singing. But then like it started to be like everybody in the bar was a singer. And it was crazy. And so then this guy came up, and he had a tracksuit on, and I start hitting Lamar arm, and I was like, "This guy's gonna be able to sing." And, and sure enough, he comes in, and he's singing "Love and Happiness," and he goes, "Tell your neighbor you love them." And he's like, turn to so and it felt like I felt like I was in church. And so then everybody in the bar started hugging each other and saying they love each other. And I was just like, this is what I want. This is what I want, a blues community to feel like. I don't want it to be like, "Oh, how was the weather? How was I want I like When you think about blues and the hypersexualization, where everybody's like talking about the close embrace. No, it's the hugs that you see from a stranger. It's just giving love to another human being. And that's what this bar was like. And this was like the warm embrace that I got from these people that I had never met. It was amazing. It was
Yeah.
so beautiful.
Yeah, no, like I literally was like, I'm so jealous of Chicago right now.
It
Like,
was so good. And I turned to Lamar, and I was like, "Please don't tell people about this." I was like, "I need this. This might be my new space. This might be my new spot, because I need a place." So anyway, this will be in the recording, but at least
yeah, no, real quick, you also mentioned soul. Can you speak a little bit more to soul? Because that was one of
Oh
the
yeah.
like, what is it about soul that?
I feel like soul is usually like talking about love, well, love and happiness, and it's like it's also storytelling and things, but it's usually talking about like positive, like there's a lot of positive messages. There's a lot of like, whereas like blues is like there's a lot of like sadness, there's a lot of like pain, there's a lot of like, well, but I mean, if you think about the times of the songs that were coming, like soul was like when you're free and things, and so like there was this, it just it feels very very freeing. It's like Nina Simone talking about like, I wonder what it'll feel like to be free, and then you've got uh I can't even think of a soul song that's I feel good. James,
Yeah.
you know what I mean? Like it just, I can't, I hear a soul song and I'm just like, I can't be usually sad when I hear it. Like even when it's a really sad one, I'm just like, oh, I don't know. And I feel like it's called soul for a reason because it just fills your soul. Yeah.
Yeah. And so that's actually interesting. It's like like soul nights have been growing in the like Southern California area.
Oh, really?
Yeah. So what would do you dance to soul? Do you dance like a little bit mix of stuff, or do you still dance blues, or like I'm just curious.
Um, I do a little mix because um I don't know enough yet. A lot of people do steppin to it. There was people doing steppin there. I thought about I've been trying to learn some steppin. I know some people do some I think it's the St. Louis Bop. I tried to learn some of that. And I would be interested in kind of diving into that a little bit more, but I think we talked about how like it's a lot of lead focused, and so it's a little bit harder for me, but I still really love it. Love dancing those things, but like in moderation. So, um, but I've also seen like a lot of cool solo stuff to soul as well. Yeah, and I've done hustle in the ballroom world. Um, yeah, so
Because
it all depends.
yeah, I feel like most people like Lindy Hop really is doing these soul nights. So there's a lot of like
Oh, really?
yeah, I'm like that's an interesting mix to me. People are requesting soul like we want more soul music. So I'm like curious what y'all gonna dance to this. But like people like the floor stays, people love it. So I'm just like I don't know. So I was like, oh yeah, soul dance. I was like, I don't think there's a specific thing called soul dance. I think there's like, or not anymore. I think it's like hustle, or I think it's like specific.
Yeah,
So that's where I'm like, this could be interesting how this evolves. Like,
yeah. Hustle, step in, bop. And then there's some solo music that's solo dance styles that go well with soul. And then there's some people will do some blues music to blues dancing to soul, but I don't know how correct that is. So somebody would have to talk to us.
yeah, I'm like, who do I ask? Like,
But I do know like there's blues and soul crossover. Like there's some songs that intertwine, and then you've got like Southern soul, which will be played at blues uh why
events,
blues events,
weekends.
yeah, blues festivals. And so like I feel like soul kind of still intertwines with blues a lot. Um so I don't know.
Yeah, I think that's because like it makes sense to me the blues and soul intertwined. Like obviously they're different, but there's some songs that are definitely like this could go either way. Like,
Mm,
yeah. So yeah, I'm gonna put that as a side note. Like look into that.
yeah, I'm not gonna pretend to know.
I was just curious. I was like, oh,
Yeah, I don't
do
know
you
enough
happen
about
to
that.
know?
I'd have
Like,
to, yeah, let me know when you find out. I
oh,
could probably look some
oh,
stuff too,
pass
but
it back along. Yeah, no. So yeah, no, I'm glad because I was like, I feel like there's got to be some. I'm so glad you brought up the bar because I saw those
yeah.
stories and I was like, oh my god.
Yeah, and I think that was actually a really good end to it because it's positive. and it answered the question that we said earlier of what it should feel like. And I feel like also answers like the gaze that people are saying where they're just viewing it as sexualization when really blues is like a hug at an end of the day when you're tired and you've worked so hard and you just want to be with your community.